Hi folks, this is Vince with Ads Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to play Transport Fever 2. It's important to stress that what you're looking at here is a preview build, so everything that you're about to see is subject to change. This isn't going to be a 2-hour session. I'm not doing very well medically, so I'm doing my best to fight through the pain, but it's been a rough couple of days for me. So my goal today is just to show off, I think. I have 2 games going right now. There's the game that I created that brings you to an older point in time, so you see like horse-drawn carriages, rather cabbages. Yeah. I'm picturing people riding cabbage. Anyway, horse-drawn carriages and stuff like that. Then you've got like the new modern stuff with buses and airplanes and all that jazz. So I'm gonna go to the old save first, and we'll play around with that for a little bit. Then we'll go to the new stuff, play around with that a little bit. For the most part, it's very similar to Transport Fever 1. So if you've played the first one, then you'll be able to get into this without too much of a problem. There is a couple of new mechanics and new features, but for the most part, it's relatively the same game. I had no tutorial going into this, and I was able to do just fine. So, because I was familiar with the older game. So, whenever you do create a new game, there is a campaign. I'll just show you that to you.
Mankind is constantly creating amazing new inventions.
All right, campaigns 1, 2, and 3, 6 missions from the looks of it. But if we go to free game, there's also Steam Workshop and a map editor, just for the record. When I go to create a new game, there's Temperate, Dry, and Tropico. Tropical, I should say, not Tropico. This isn't Tropico, this isn't El Presidente, no. Tropical. You can choose between small, medium, large, or very large map size. There's ratios 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, medium, low, medium, high, or very high number of towns, and low, medium, high, very high number of industries. And you can see the map preview here. So yeah, that's quite cool. But like I said, we're going to load up the older map first. This is like 1855 or something like that. Alright, now load times are a bit long, I will warn you, so if we're going to sit here for a minute, nothing I can really do about it. Hopefully they optimize this a bit before launch, as far as load times are concerned. Hi Bessa, how are you? Tabletop simulator, huh? I haven't tried that yet. Is that any good? I might look at it while I'm waiting. Now that's been out for a while now, hasn't it? I mean, yeah, since 2015. Is that the one you're talking about, or is this a new one? I have Tabletop Simulator and Tabletopia, but I've really never used them because I don't like the fact that there's no pre-programmed AI with it. Like, you have to know how the game plays, and if you make an error with the game, like in real life, you know, no one's going to catch you doing it. So it's like, I don't like it for that, but, you know. Hello, Oska, is it? How are you? Alright, so we're almost done loading here. Again, the load times are pretty long, but once we get into the map... Okay, so like I said, this is the older map that I was messing with. I think it's in the 1800s, so as you would expect, you've got like horses doing the bulk of your stuff. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, show you around. This is a look at some of the farms that you might encounter. And for those of you tuning in for the first time, I should probably preface it with that. In this game, you've got a map like this, right? All sorts of different towns, different production buildings, and you're going to be trying to set up lines from one to the other in order to make money. That's the general gist of it. So for example, I do have some lines already created. We'll go through the interface real quick, again, for the benefit of those that are new to the game or have never played Transport Fever 1. So upper left-hand corner is your filter menu. Let's go to a town so I can show you that in more detail. So here's like Fort Lauderdale. So I'm going to go ahead and the first one here. So you can see contour lines. I guess we should zoom out so you can see that one first. So here's an example of contour lines. You can see on the map how the slopes and everything else are affected. Now, I created a fairly flat map just so it was cheaper. In fact, if you're new to the game, I recommend if you're creating a free play map, make the map nice and flat, because it does cost money to go up and down slopes and through mountains. So you're going to want an easier time while you get used to how the game plays. But you can see the contour lines on that filter, upper left. Also, this is navigatable waters. So anything in green here, the boats can go down. Then you've got land use. This is how cities operate. I'm very happy that they switched this. In previous versions of this game, Transport Fever 1, I think it was, or possibly was it Transport Fever or Train Fever? One of the two. This is more SimCity-esque now. Green is residential, blue is commercial, yellow is industrial. Before, it had like red being this and yellow was in residential. It was really weird. So they've changed the color scheme to reflect what you would see in SimCity or City Skylines, which is nice. So there's that. Track speed limits. There's destinations. There's cargo, stations, emissions. So you can see emissions there. And lastly, HUD icon filters, which just a bunch of different ships and all that stuff. Okay, so that's the filters. Let's go ahead and close that down. Bottom left-hand corner is how much money you have. Click on that. You'll pull up your balance sheet. I guess I'm doing okay. Again, I've spent, I want to say, 20-30 minutes off camera setting this up for you guys already, so I wouldn't have to sit here and figure it out, on camera. But I'm making roughly $200,000 per year for the most part. Sometimes $300,000, depending on how much I'm spending. But yeah, there's railroad, road, air, water, investments, stuff like that. There's also some charts if you want to take a look at charts. Headquarter information, assets, liquidity, inventory, vehicles, debt, value. Okay, and then you've got, on the very bottom left, you see a quick earnings figure there, how much for your population is, number of passengers transported, number of cargo items transported, so that'll just continuously go up. First button is your line manager on the bottom there to the left. This is where you can set up new lines. You can also rename them. So if I click on line 1, for example, this says Orlando South to Carlton South, but if I wanted to change that, I could. So right now I'm transporting this wood from this lumber yard to, or where is that at? Okay, here it is. Yeah, we're transporting lumber to this sawmill, basically. So I could rename this if I wanted to reflect, like, there's a little pencil, I can type in lumber to sawmill. Something like that. I mean, you can name it anything you want, but if you want to rename lines, you're free to do that. That way, when you're adding vehicles to it in the future, you'll be familiar with, what it is at least. And it's also color-coded, too. You can change the color on the right-hand side, so if I don't want it to be red anymore, I can make it purple. There's a limited palette, but, it's there, so I can change it any way I want to. No, this is not Ultimate General. I don't know why it says that the stream description says Ultimate General. Is this on YouTube or Steam? Because according to my screen, it says Transport Fever 2. Maybe it's trying to... That was the last game I played, so I'm thinking the YouTube is just being YouTube and I can't change it. Yeah, I can't change it, unfortunately. I don't know how to change it. I'm going to stream options right now. It's not letting me change the game. Let me try advanced settings to see if it's there. But no, Ultimate General was the game I did last. I'm just going to look and see if there's a way to change it. No, I mean, my basic information, like the stream title, does say Transport Fever 2. So this is an example of YouTube being stupid, and just auto-detecting crap. Information, whoa, like the stream... Whoa, okay, be quiet, Vince, thank you. Alright, let's go back. I'm all messed up now. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, this is not Ultimate General, obviously. This is Transport Fever 2. It's under Advanced Settings, last I checked, under Category. I will try to do that. I'm not... Okay, Advanced Settings, I will go there now. And unfortunately, I'm looking around. Caption certification, age restrictions, stream ad delay, allow comments, recording, record date, category. It says Transport Fever 2 on my screen. It literally says category gaming, Transport Fever 2. So I have it set up correctly. It's just YouTube is displaying the wrong information. Nothing I can really do. But yeah, Transport Fever 2 is what this is, and this will be on my YouTube channel after it's all said and done. So if you missed the stream, whatnot because of that, it'll be there, labeled correctly, hopefully. But anyway, getting back to the game. So, yeah, YouTube is being kind of silly. I agree. So, back to the line manager. We can change colors. We can also set the loading settings. So, for example, there's this load, full load any. You can do it for both stations or just the one, so you can set up different load settings there. No filter. You can set filters for different kinds of cargo. You can add more stations to an existing one, maximum waiting time. Yeah, so there's all sorts of different things there. If you click on an existing vehicle, it brings up a little PIP, and you can zoom to it. You can turn it off. You can have it set up a line, reverse. Send the depot, you can see its details, configure vehicle. If I hit configure vehicle, it just brings me to the vehicle manager, which kind of does the same thing. From here, I can set the line, I can sell it, I can send it to a depot, clone selected vehicle, replace selected vehicle, configure maintenance for selected vehicle. And then it says maintenance, normal, running cost, 0%. One thing I don't like, in the previous Transport Fever, you could set the vehicles to automatically replace once they reached a certain age or something like that, or condition. Here, I can't seem to do that. There is a button that says replace, but I don't see a way to automatically set up vehicles being replaced, which is a step down from the previous one. If it is in here, I haven't figured out how to do it. I've been looking around for a while, but I can't figure it out. Again, configure maintenance. That just increases the running cost, but it doesn't actually change. It doesn't let me set up an automatic replacement feature. There's a replace selected vehicle. I can choose what to replace, like what vehicle to replace it with. There's one vehicle to be replaced for 10,000, but I don't see any information as far as how to automatically set up a replacement for it, whenever it gets to a certain age. So that's something I hope that they add in the future, because that was one feature that I really liked from Transport Fever. But again, there's still 10, 15 days until this game actually launches, so maybe they're going to introduce that later, I don't know. Okay, so this is the vehicle manager. I showed that to you already. This is where you can get new vehicles. You have to click on an existing road depot, go to buy vehicles, and you'll have the option to buy different vehicles. Again, we're in the early 1800s, or late 1800s, 1871. We just unlocked a new train and a new horse-drawn streetcar, which should be interesting. So let's see. Just to show you the different build options, there's these 5 buttons in the bottom middle. Down here, you've got streets and buildings on the first tab. This is where you can go to build streets. So there's a small street. It's a 2-lane. So I can just click and hold, and I can put those down. Here's a medium street here. This is a large street there. Obviously, you wouldn't put these down here. This is more of like a side street kind of thing. Dirt road, country road, medium country road, large country road. Putting roads down is pretty expensive, so try not to do it unless you really have to. I do on occasion when I need to connect things a lot more quickly than, like, if the vehicle I have is going to take a scenic route that's going to take 10 minutes, I usually just make a road that makes the travel time a lot quicker. So there's street modification tools like tram tracks. There's waypoints if I want to add waypoints. Different buildings like bus tram stops. So if I want to add bus stops, I can do that. Bus tram station, truck stations, truck unload stop, road depot, and tram depot. Typical stuff there. You can also filter by these tabs here. You can also adjust the settings before you place it. So tram track, yes or no, platforms left, platforms right, length. You can also extend existing platforms in this game. So if I were to click on this truck station, right now it's just picking up lumber. There's a nearby, or there's a Lando forest here. It's chopping wood. and it's automatically depositing to this place here. But let's say I want to add more storage to that. I can click on Configure, and these little blue buttons pop up. I can choose on the very bottom what I want to put there. There's passenger, cargo. Obviously, this is cargo-oriented, so I might want to add something like that. So I can add for 24,000. I can add more storage right here. So I can do something like that. So that's pretty cool. Like, you can add to existing spots, should you so choose. So I do like that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so other buttons, we've got the second one. This is for trains mainly. Again, this game, and the previous ones in the series, you ran into a problem building trains early on. Honestly, putting a train down is extremely expensive, and the maintenance on it is crazy high. So unless you have an extremely profitable route right out of the gate, the money that you put into the train and then the maintenance following that will bankrupt you. So, I mean, yeah, you could take out loans, I suppose. But generally, I put down these road lines first. That way I can make some decent income, and then I put the trains down. I find that to be a bit easier to do it that way. But yeah, you can put trains down and mainly transport people back and forth or cargo back and forth. There's boats. Go ahead and pull that menu up. There's passenger harbor, cargo harbor. See if I can zoom in and show you some of that. N and M to rotate. Dock outside of water. Okay. I don't know if I can put any of these down. Oh, maybe this. There we go. There we go. That makes more sense. Just to show you what the models look like. Okay, shipyards. That's what the models look like. The models are very detailed. I do like the amount of effort that went into those, so I'm happy there. Airplanes weren't invented yet, so I can't show you that until I load my futuristic one. And there's also the terrain tools. You can smooth terrain, you can flatten. So if I want to smooth, I don't know if this will work or not, but I can smooth. It's pretty nice. It's very expensive to modify terrain, so I try not to do it, but if you create a path or a road or something and it looks a little weird, you can smooth it out, flatten, raise. It's pretty good. I really like the amount of detail here. Like, you can clearly see the hills, and it looks nice too. Can flatten. Okay. And let's go ahead and set up a couple of lines just to show you what it looks like from this old-timey point of view. And then we'll load up the modern playthrough so I can show you some more like buses and airplanes and different things like that. Okay, so let's just zoom out and see who needs what. In previous Transport Fever, the items, the commodities would not ship unless there was a clear beginning and end destination, meaning that, let's say that I had connected, let's find one of my existing routes. This lumber. Okay, so in the previous version of this game, or the last predecessor, setting up the forest to the sawmill would do nothing for you, because that sawmill was going nowhere. The planks generated from the sawmill were going nowhere. You had to actually deliver the sawmill product to town, in this case the planks, to town, and then once you had a clear raw to finished product to town, until you had that chain, nothing would produce. In this game, it seems like it's letting you do that regardless of whether or not you have that town as the finished end result, which is really nice. I like it better that way. It's easier to make money, I think. So, for example, let's see if I can find, this is a farm. I'm looking for two things that are really close to each other that I can make use of. Well, there's this, and that's coal, and there's that. I want something simpler, though. Just give me something simple. Ah, here we go. I can, this quarry. I can connect it to this, and it'll make brick. And I don't have to deliver the brick to town in order for it to start making money. So just to show you how to do that, let's go ahead and first create some buildings. We need to put down some stations. So we're going to put down, say, a station. We'll go ahead and rotate that. Put that like right here. And so as long as it's highlighted white like that, it's connected. If you like put this truck station back here, you'll note that that quarry is no longer highlighting white. If I were to put it closer, you'll see that it's highlighting white. That means it's within range and you're clear to put this down. I agree. I'm going to butcher your name and I apologize. Seagrain, is it? I apologize. Is that German? I agree, though. It is expensive in most games to terraform. So we're going to put one down at the destination. And now we're going to add a line. So we're going to create a new line. And we're simply going to click one line here. And then click on that station. And now we've connected to two. And we've already got like a purple color. So I'm just going to change this to like orange or something. Actually, we have an orange already. Let's do... we have a green. Peach. Whatever. Okay, good enough. So we've got the line set up, but now we have no vehicles assigned to it. Now what I could do is I could click on an existing depot, construct the... I don't know where my depot is exactly. I'm sure there's a way to find them. Oh, here's this. That's a station. Here's a depot. I could create a vehicle at that depot, and it'll travel all the way up here. Or I can just create a new depot closer to it. I'm going to go ahead and just create a new depot closer to it. So we're going to go to buildings, and we're going to toggle to, there we go, the last tab, road depot, and then we're going to rotate it so that it connects to the road. And there we go. And now we're going to create some vehicles. We're going to go to buy vehicles, and we need some some cargo ones. So let's click on the cargo one. It's a good idea. All is nice. It lets you see everything. But if you buy passenger transportation for cargo, it's not going to work. So I find the tabs easier on my eyes. So if you click on an existing one, you can actually see to the right what its capacity is, what it can carry. So this American horse-drawn carriage, for example, it says top speed 20 kilometers per hour, engine type horse, power 2 kilowatts, capacity 5, it can transport 5 things, cargo types, it looks like a lot of everything. Loading speed, emission, weight, build date, lifespan. This one can transport all cargo types, capacity of 5. This one has a capacity of 4. It's one of the earlier ones. Let's go ahead and do the American horse-drawn carriage, and we'll buy... Now, with the old-timey vehicles, it's generally a good idea to build a lot of them, because one vehicle just isn't going to cut it. The maintenance for the depots and the stations are going to be way higher. You need a lot of vehicles in Days of Yore to transport things, because their capacity is only like 4 or 5. I'm going to go ahead and click on the arrow, select them all, click on the arrow right above it, set line, and I'm going to set that to line, I think it was 6. Was it 6? I don't remember. Oh, 1. It was line 1. There we go. So now we've got these guys coming out. They're going to pick up the stone. Now, they will automatically spread out over time so that they're not all clumped together. All right, now we're waiting for this quarry to produce stuff. So the next time it comes around, this will be filled up for the most part. But yeah, we can follow them if we wanted to. I think there's a follow button somewhere. Yeah, we can pin it. There we go. This is on fast forward, so these guys are moving incredibly fast. Getting back to how many vehicles you should have per line, there's a button in the bottom right. It's the line statistics. Click on that. This is very important. You'll see the balance. That's a good indicator. But take a look at the frequency. If you see like a frequency of 10 minutes, then you don't have enough vehicles. I generally aim for, like, I want to say 2 minutes or less. Line 1, line 4, and line 5 are all 4 minutes. I may, if I want to, maybe I'll add more vehicles to them to lower the time. Oh, I got an achievement. Accumulate a fortune of 1 million without debt. Interesting. Okay. So, good rule of thumb, try and aim for less than, I guess, 4 minutes if you can swing it. But all of my lines, except for the one I just created, are in the blue, which is good. In the black is what it should be, but blue indicates a profit. So all of my lines prior to this one are generating a profit. This one will generate a profit at some point in time, but it's going to take a little bit of time for that to happen. That's why building a train right away is a bad idea, because it's just going to accrue maintenance until it finally gets up to actually generating a profit for you. So right now we're just waiting. These guys will drop off the stuff here, and brick will start to be generated. Now, if I wanted to, I can try and find a place for that brick. I don't know where that would be. Maybe it might be a product that needs to be put somewhere. Oh, here we go. Simi Valley needs brick, but that's all the way down here. Right? That would be kind of crazy to do. I could transport that brick over to Fort Lauderdale over here, but as you can see, it's a far distance, and these old-timey vehicles are kind of, well, they're slow, truth be told. So yeah, that's an example of setting up a line. I guess we'll set up a bus station real quick just to show you what that looks like. Let's go and open up my line manager to make sure that I'm not recreating the wheel. Okay, so let's go from Fullerton to Simi Valley. We'll create like a little transport for passengers. So let's go ahead and open up our build menu, and we're going to put a road depot down nearby. Something like that. And let's go ahead and put we got passengers. There we go. So we can either do like bus stops, which have less of a capacity, or we can put an actual station down. If you hover, let's do this. When you're about to build it, let's say that, anything in white is the range of that station. So you'll note that around the bus station, some of the buildings are now highlighted white. But if you look to the right of the city, those that are not highlighted will not automatically be, this station is not reaching them. So one option is build this in a more centralized location. The other option is build a bus station or two and connect it to this as they all reach each other. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and put we'll put this station down here, and maybe we'll put like a bus stop maybe down here. Now this is, I don't know if this is bugged or what, but note that these buildings here are not highlighting white, even though they're right here. It's really strange that that these are not being picked up. This may be a bug, but you may have to play around with this until you reach a spot that is good. So this one, it's just weird that people can't cross the street. It's just annoying. All right, well, you know what? Let's just take this one. That's fine. Okay, so I put a bus stop there. And then let's go ahead and put a station down over in Fullerton. And this is a nice centralized location. If you hover if you take a look, you can actually see what each building needs. So for example, you can see that this is residential, it needs bread, and above these buildings they require brick. You can see little red symbols. So that indicates that, you know, that tells you where the bulk of your residents are going to be. So when you're putting these stations down, you can sort of figure out where you need to put these things. Had this been like a cargo station, you know, maybe I might want to put the cargo station somewhere on the outskirts here where the bricks are. But this is good. I'm going to put a bus station down maybe over here. Okay. And now we need to connect all of that via a line. So let's go to our line manager, new line. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure. And then we'll go back the way we came. Something like that. And now we're back to 1. So it goes 1, 2, then 3, 4, then back to this one, 5. Because if we don't do that, it's going to go from 4 to 1. So I'd rather it stop along the way back to stations it's already been to. A lot of my vehicles need to be replaced here pretty soon. But let's just go ahead and get this one going. So we got that line set up. Let's go ahead and get the vehicles created. So we're going to buy vehicles and go to passenger. And I guess we'll do the American Stagecoach. We'll go ahead and buy, say, 4 of those. Select all, and then line 7. There we go. And now we should see. There we go. Alright, we'll fast forward time. Over time, people will start populating these as the demand grows. So no one's here right now, but people will eventually walk here, hopefully. There's a bus stop. You'll know that there's people waiting. There's usually like a little yellow person, meeple person above these stations telling you that they're waiting. But if you don't see anything right away, don't panic. Sometimes it takes the game a minute to realize, oh, I've got a bus station here now. I need to program people to go to these locations. Let's take a look at this one over here. Yeah, here's an example. We've already got one person waiting at the... Oh, we got multiple people waiting. If we click on it, you can actually see waiting at station, Upper Fullerton 5, Simi Valley Transfer 6. So you can also see what line they're waiting for. And we have 2 stops here. So one's going in one direction, one's going in the other direction. So we'll see our carriages pick people up there. Anyone? Yep, we've got some people waiting here. Yeah, A-Train is a game that I had a hard time getting into. I did cover it once on my channel, but it wasn't exactly the most user-friendly game, in my opinion. Not to say that it's not a good game. I'm just saying I had a hard time getting into it. Alright, people are getting picked up. Oh, welcome, Dawn. How you doing? Alright. So, what I'm going to do now that I've shown you the old-timey stuff, I'm going to jump into... I'm going to save this first. DGA. Overwrite. I'm going to load up my other playthrough that I was doing that features the new stuff. So, let's go ahead and load that up. And again, load times are a little long. So just give it a minute. It'll be here. That's another game I never got into was Dwarf Fortress. It's all the rage. I know it's all the rage, but I never got into it. No, don't tell me. I got a white screen. Let's just give it a minute and... Oh, there it goes. Whew. All right, we're good. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress, I wanted to get into that, but I never did. It's one game I never got into. I never played it. But then again, I love Dungeons, the original Dungeons, and then Dungeons 2 and 3. But I really enjoyed Dungeons 1. That's the first game I really played that involved... Actually, you know what? I did play Dungeon Keeper 2 back in days of yore, but only over a friend's house. I never actually owned it. But that was my first Dungeon Keeper-esque game. Dwarf Fortress is quite fun. I know they remade it. It's on Steam somewhere. I may look at it. But that's one of those games, I think, where, you know, you have to really spend time to understand what's going on to really enjoy it. And with my schedule and my medical issues being what they are, it's hard for me to really do anything like that. But if I really like the genre enough and I really like the game, I make the effort. Alright, we're almost done loading. Like I said, there are some long load times for these maps, so right now we're loading up the latest possible date that you can pick when setting up a free play map. Obviously, there's more vehicles to choose from at this point. I think it's like 1950 plus. So now we're getting into more modern era vehicles as opposed to horses. Excuse me, I'm getting tired. 2 hours of sleep last night, I'm exhausted. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the stream, my medical issues are in full force right now, so this isn't going to be a very long stream. But I at least wanted to get this out there and show you guys what this was like. It'll be out in like 14, 15 days as of the date of this stream. I think you can pre-order it for 25% off right now if you're interested. Okay, so now that we're loaded, as you can see, the map is relatively the same. This is the tropical map. The last one was just a temperate. This is the tropical map. You can set islands on the tropical map if you want to. I like Tropico 6 that way. But yeah, so this is the modern stuff. Let's go ahead and show you the vehicles that you can buy on this time. So if I go to... Let's find a depot, actually. And this is the Asian-themed map. There is just basically Asian-themed names as far as, like, Zyman Farm, if I'm pronouncing that even correctly. So if I go to buy vehicles, so that's aircraft. Let's go to the road depot. There we go, buy vehicles. Okay, so as far as passengers, you've got the MAN SL192, the BK670, the MAZ 103, and the Volvo 5000. But keep in mind that vehicles will no longer be available once you reach a certain date. So there were some vehicles like in the 1900s that you won't see here because, well, they've been outsourced. They've outdated. So there are other vehicles in the game, but I started this playthrough at 1950 plus. Right now we're in the year 2008. Cargo, there's dump truck, tank truck, Tropolin truck, there's a flatbed, tank truck, dump truck. There's some other things, 40-ton trucks. So yeah, lots of different things. More money, though. The later in the game that you go, the more expensive everything is. This truck is $500,000. Oh, this is $1 million almost. 921,268. But you also make more money as you go, too. So as far as the airplanes go, I have an airplane going. There's a short 330 C-23 Sherpa. That's the passenger plane. Looks like a cargo plane, too. So it's only the one. So these are the lines that I currently have set up. Let's go to my line manager. I've got a couple set up here, and we'll zoom to as many as we can to show you what the models look like. Alright, so that's a flatbed, I believe. Yeah, Transport Fever 2 will be out in about 15 days. Transport Fever 1 is available now, should you want to pick that up. It's roughly the same game, though this game does have some slight differences. There it goes. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Transport Fever is on sale, especially with the release of this one. Companies often do that. Alright, so that's an example of that. Let's find the different kind of vehicle to look at. Line 2. That's the sawmill. There we go. Enclosed truck. Roads are a little tight. I may want to change that at some point. There's tunnel. Can't go through the tunnel, apparently, but we're there in spirit. Are there container ships? Yeah, let's go ahead and show you the ships. I didn't build one yet, but I will show you the models, and maybe we'll set something up. This map makes it kind of difficult to do that, though, because there's no rivers. This is an island. This is a tropical map. If I were to do anything, maybe I can set something up from, like... this needs bread. I wonder if I can get bread from here to here. Maybe it'll be a very short hop. It'll be kind of silly to do that, but we can try it. Oh, the Daman Ferry and the China Railways something something. Okay. So let's see if we can get wheat to this location, first off. Okay, there's actually some grain/wheat right here. This is a good time to set up a line. We may want to create a road that'll go straight to it. So let's do road. There's streets. And do I want to just do something like that? Actually, it's a quite expensive road. Just saying. Generally, when you're making a road like this, it's good to build it in sections because of the height differences. If you build shorter segments like this, the road will conform with the height of the land. So instead of like having to destroy land for the road to go through it, you're modifying the land less, so you're spending less money. So sometimes building in short segments like this is the way to go. Let's go ahead and do something like, yeah, let's do cheaper. Alright, so we're going to do something like that. We're just going to build a road. And this is for demonstration purposes. This is not going to be anything like super professional. We're just going to quickly set this up. Alright, so we'll do something like that. And note, because I didn't do a segment, there's some land terraforming going on here. If that really bothers you, you can go into the terrain editor and you can smooth this out a bit should you want to. Again, it's expensive to do that, though. Okay. So now that we've got that road set up, let's go ahead and create some stations so that we can transport the grain from this to this. So let's go to buildings and let's go to truck station. And again, you want to make sure that there's a white border on the buildings. Like if I were to put this out here, this truck stop, if I put this out here, this building is not highlighted. So that means it's not connected. So this needs to be close enough to where there's a white outline of this building. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to want one up here. And let's go ahead and rotate N and M key to rotate. So we're going to do something like that. And now we're going to create a line. So let's go ahead and go to the line manager. New line. We're going to go from click on that station to this station. And we're good. I can edit other things if I wanted. I can change, you know, only leave the station if you're at a full load. I could do that, but I'm going to keep it nice and simple. So now we're going to, do we have a road depot nearby? I don't think so. You know, let's just make one. I don't care. We've got $31 million in the bank. All right, so buildings and road depot. We'll just put one, say. Parkitect is fun too, Dawn. I like that one. New vehicle, the TVZ 614447. $3 million to put one down. Okay, so we're going to be transporting wheat from here to here. So we need to buy a vehicle, and it has to be a cargo. So let's do something that can transport grain. This 40-ton truck with side stakes does not transport grain per the cargo types listed here. This one transports all cargo. It'll transport 25 at a time. I will go ahead and buy 2 of them. And we'll set the line to line 8. And again, we can rename the lines if we so choose. For the sake of expediency, I'm not going to bother. But now we've got the trucks moving out, doing their thing. There they go. Pretty soon, they will start delivering. Oh, we've already got some grain piling up here. Wheat, grain. I'll be using that term interchangeably here. And again, if we want to add to it, let's say that we're running out of space. Let's say this is filling up. We can add more cargo space to it. This is really cool. I like this. So if I hover over one of these blue dots, I can add more space to it, which is kind of cool. There's tabs for passenger, cargo, and street access. So I can do something like that. If I wanted to add other street access, I could do something like that, or you know, whatever you want. You can add different ways to modify this. But yeah. All right, so these guys are delivering the grain to here. And this will make bread for us, and we'll see bread piling up here. So we're going to want to transport that bread over to town, and this is where we're going to get the ships involved. Hopefully it works. I haven't tried it before, but hopefully it works. So let's get some boats set up. We've got $31 million, so hopefully it's not too expensive. Cargo harbor? Is it even gonna let me? Oh, it does. Okay. So we're gonna want, I guess something like that. The problem is it not close enough? All right, we'll put that there. And we need to connect this via road, I believe. I don't use ships very often, but they have their uses. Is there a way to connect? There we go. There's a little, you can see them, there are little connectors there. I believe that's good enough. All right. Now, whether or not this will transport here automatically is anyone's guess. I hope so. Let's go ahead and put a boat thingy. Passenger cargo. There we go. Cargo. Rotate it so that the anchor is in the water. And lucky for us, the bread is actually right here. Unlucky for us, no matter where we put it, the buildings aren't being highlighted. So we're going to have to, like, we'll have to probably create a truck stop to transfer the goods from this location to those buildings back there. So let's just do something like that. We'll go ahead and connect this via road. So something like that is good. And now we need to set up a line from here to here. Yeah, the big harbor is very expensive. Very expensive. So that, yeah, we're going to go with the little one just to be on the safe side. So new line, we're going to go from here to here. And we need to buy a boat. Notice that the boat is automatically set up. The line is nice and easy. Shouldn't be too bad. And this is, again, this is not the ideal setup here. This is just for example purposes. So now we need to create a boat. So let's go to that manager. And I think Zyman East. No, that's not it. Oh, we need a boat depot, I think. Let's go ahead and buy that. There we go. Shipyard. Do we have to rotate that, maybe? Yeah, let's do that. Alright. That's in the water. Good. And let's go ahead and put a road there. Let's try it the other way. I don't know if we need a road, honestly. It doesn't seem like it wants to connect. So maybe a road isn't necessary. Let's just see if it... yeah. Alright, now let's go ahead and buy a vehicle. So we've got a couple of options here. Passenger, Zurich, the Graf Zeppelin, the Damon Ferry, and this HCSRN6, very small from the looks of it. Cargo, we've got the Voltrans tanker towboat, which does mainly fuels, oils, and fuel. The Voltrans towboat, which does a little bit of everything from the looks of it. The Exalp, the Viola, the Hercules tanker towboat, and the Hercules towboat, and the Merlin. Okay, so if we're just transporting wheat, 252 is a lot of wheat, but I am curious to see what that looks like. So maybe we'll buy one for $2 million, $3 million almost. We'll sign it to line 9. Unable to find path, no path for big ships. Okay, then let's get rid of that one. Let's sell it. We'll have to pick a smaller one. Sell selected vehicle. Let's see if we can do a small one. The Votrans tanker towboat. No, that one. Let's try the towboat. Let's try that one. And assign line 9. That seems to work. There it comes. Okay. There's our towboat. But I don't think we're actually getting any resources here. I'm going to have to maybe set something up, because this is not in range of this, I don't believe, so we're going to have to maybe transport stuff. I can transport bread if I wanted to. For a ship arrived, buy a ship and run a line. I got an achievement for that. But this is what that looks like. Oh wait, is there something? Oh, there is bread on board. Nice. We've got 1 bread on board. Obviously, a ship like this is going to be a huge money sink until it actually starts making some money. Like any vehicle in this game, especially the larger ones, trains, planes, it takes time for them to start making money. So if you expect to lose money in the early onset. And again, you can see that by looking at the line statistics screen and seeing what's making money and what isn't. Yeah, no, that's a lot more than 1 loaf of bread. Maybe it's 1 ton. Maybe it's in tonnage. All right, off it goes. And I don't know if it may. Oh, look, it is in range of these. So this bread is fulfilling these 2 commercial buildings here, which is cool. And again, you can tell they're commercial. Again, there's a filter. If I go to land use, there we go. Like in SimCity, blue is commercial, green is residential, yellow is industrial. So there's that. So that's a quick look at the ships and what they can do. If I wanted to, I could create more stations to maybe distribute that better throughout town. maybe I'll show you some more vehicles. Let's take a look at that. There's a bus. The scenery is really nice, I will say that. Transport Fever 1 looked, you know, pretty nice too. Oh, Bombardier. You know, let's try a larger airport. I do have an existing airport already down doing things. Let's take a look at that one first, then we'll try a large airport. Hopefully I have enough money for it, though. Because the airplanes get really, really crazy expensive. Alright, let's see if I can find that line. This is why you should name your lines. I didn't. This is it, airplane. All right, so let's go to that line. There it is. So this is just a simple passenger line. It's connecting two cities. It's going from Delhi via Delhi transfer here. That's the airport. And it's transporting 12 passengers at a time to Xiamen East. And the way I have this set up is I've got bus stops nearby the airport so that people can be transported to the bus stop, and then they can walk right to the airport to where the plane is. And vice versa with over here. If we take a look at over here, I've got, as you can see, there's a bus station network that's going around the outskirts of town. And so as long as it's near this airport, people will just walk right over and they'll fly on this airline, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's just that's the smaller one though. That's not the larger one. Oh, I forgot. You can also click on the cities to see what they demand. Let's go ahead and click on Delhi, for example. So in the overview, you can see there's 424 residents or so, shopping, work. This is the stats on, you know, how many people are working there and all that jazz. Destinations, you can see the percentage of people that are traveling via public transport as opposed to private transport. In the very beginning, when you don't have anything set up, it's going to be like 90% or 100% private transport until you start getting public transportation going, and that's when that number will increase. Supply is what they demand, goods and fuel from the looks of it. Right now I'm not providing anything like that. And then you can see things like quality, stations, traffic, and emissions. Those are various things that will affect the town. Target population, and there's some charts. So yeah. Again, if you've played Transport Fever 1, this isn't going to be like anything game-breakingly new. But, I mean, this game is for the most part the same, with the exception of some other, you know, new features. Got two aircrafts here. There's the airplane. Yeah, you would think that Sigrain, I'm going to butcher that. But the last Transport Fever, is it Transport Fever or Train Fever? One of the two. The RCI meter was totally screwed up in terms of color. I think like red was residential or something like that, and red was industry. It was, the colors were completely up. Blue was residential. It was totally messed up, and it looks like they fixed that, which I'm glad. So bigger airports. I don't know if I have the money, but we'll try. Let's do passenger airfield. Sure. That's the airfield. Is there an airport? Passenger airport. There we go. This one needs a minute to load, obviously. I clicked on... There it is. Okay. $14 million. I may have to take out a loan. Ho Chi Minh City. I guess we'll set up something close to that. We'll have to obviously get we'll have to get some train or maybe some buses or something to drop people off here, because this is kind of on the outskirts. The road is connected there, like right here. There it is. So I can connect it right there. So that's one. And where are we going to fly to? Something with a lot of population in it, preferably. Delhi, maybe. That's already hopping. So maybe we'll put that, like... Put that there. Now we have to zoom in, try and connect the roads. We can always put the roads in later if we really wanted to, but I tried just to do it. There we go. That works. Okay, so now we've got our 2 airports down. Let's go ahead and get... it seems that there is not enough money. It is possible to take out a loan, I am well aware. Alright, so we... new line. New line. Now, where's our airport? I just put it down. That's our new one. And where is the other one? There it is. Okay, so that's good. We want to buy a plane to assign to it. We also want to connect it, if possible, via buses. But let's go ahead and buy our vehicle for it first. So there's the Boeing 737, there's the Short 330 Sherpa, the Aerospace 146, the Boeing Airbus, the Tupolev, another Boeing 737, the Bombardier, the Sukhoi Superjet, the Bombardier C6300. I like the look of that one. That looks really nice. The BR Aerospace. I also like that one, the Boeing 757. This one holds 87. No, that is emissions 87. Capacity is 51, 3 compartments. You know, I like the blue. I'm a fan of blue, but it's also smaller. $25 million, though, to buy this plane. So I'm going to have to go with something smaller, unfortunately. So I guess it's $7 million for this Bombardier. I'll go ahead and buy that one. And we'll go ahead and assign that to the line we just created. This is going to put us in the black, or in the red more than likely, because, well, this is very expensive. Passenger stops cannot be used by cargo vehicles. What are you talking about? Oh, is this a cargo plane, maybe? Did I just buy a cargo plane? I might have. This is why I used the filter tab and I forgot. All right, details. This is... Oh, it says passengers. Oh, all cargo. Yeah, all right. So we need to sell it. Let's sell it. And let's buy a new vehicle this time. We'll get the right type down. Configure. Nope. All right. Passenger. There we go. Something cheap if we can. This is $8 million. The Boeing there. This is $25 million. Don't have money for that. $7 million. You know, I could take out a loan. That wouldn't be a problem. The Superjet is $9 million. Let's look at the Superjet. Why not? We'll buy that. We'll assign that to line 10. There we go. At least you got to see a cargo plane. Even though I put it down by accident. Not bad. Now, again, this is going to be a money sink until we get passenger set up. I'm actually going to pause the game while I set that up. So what I may want to do is get a bus station here and set up some bus stations in town because, or either just set it up to this one. This is nice and centralized. So let's do I guess a tram stop, like right here. See, now it's connected to that. And I think we'll set up like an express line just from this to this. So new line, this is here to here. And that's line 11. So I just have to remember that. I can also rename it if I wanted to, but again, this is just for demonstration purposes. So we've got that. Do we have a vehicle depot nearby? We can always just put one down. All right, buildings. There's the road depot. We'll just throw that there. All right, and we're going to buy vehicle. Passenger. It's 16, I guess, at a time, or something cheap. It's a very short line, so maybe one vehicle. Set that to line 11, and off we go. And play. Now, I'm hoping that we'll see some people show up at this area. Yeah, see, look, there's 73 people waiting for line 5. Hopefully, line 11 will start populating. That's the one that we just created. That's the quick express to this airport over here. And we should probably do the same thing on the other side. So let's find that other airport, wherever it is. I'm always losing my airports. It's the largest thing in the game, and I lose it. This might be it here. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and put a bus station down here. Or just a little tram. Just something like that. And I'll connect it to this one that's already set up. Like, there's already a stop there. So, again, it's just going to be a quick line from here to here. I don't like that color. It's too close to that other one. I'm going to change that to maybe red. That's fine. And close that. It's line 12. So, oh, nice. We got a road depot. Nice already there. Buy vehicle. Again, we'll do a nice cheapie. Not enough money. Of course not. Borrow 500,000. Buy vehicles. Buy one of those. Set to line 12. And off it goes. Alright, so I don't know how successful this is going to be right away. I mean, this is a huge money sink. Airports, like trains in the early part of the game, these things are often huge money sinks. They will cost a huge amount of maintenance. They'll put you into the red very quickly. So it's a good idea to create smaller routes that will generate you the money necessary to keep the larger things going down the line. All right, I'm going to fast forward time a bit. Yeah, my maintenance is now out of this world. It's ridiculous. Vehicle maintenance, $1 million. Maintenance infrastructure, $1.5 million. It's, yeah, $2.5 million almost. I just have to hope that we start generating a profit soon from this airway. If not, I can just reload it. Alright, so let's open up. Yeah, the orange line, it's line 6. We want line 10, the purple one. Yeah, line 10 is $1.2 million in the hole. So, yeah, that's going to take a while. My smaller craft, though, is actually in the positive $1.8 million. So it goes to show you that you can make a lot of money with aircraft. It just takes some time to set up. The smaller aircraft that I just showed you earlier, $1.8 million in the positive there. But again, it takes time for all that to kick in. Oh, we've got one passenger waiting now at Ho Chi Minh City Annex. So slowly but surely we're getting there. But we're going to be in... We may have to halt spending for a little while, just to see if this does pick up. All right, let's check the other airport, see how we're doing there. Looks like there's some people waiting over here as well. There's 4 people waiting. That's what I like to see. If we can get the plane nice and full, we'll start seeing a profit, hopefully. We may have to, at some point, add a second or third plane, because maintenance is maintenance. So it's important to have a number of planes transporting a lot of passengers to offset the maintenance cost for these structures. Oh, we've got 18 people waiting. That is awesome. Okay, so we're starting to see this line pick up. Again, it takes a while. All right, yep, 12 people were waiting on the red line, getting to the airport here. Line 25 now is 25 people waiting. We're gonna have a full plane here in a minute. I'm curious to see what the profit is going to be on this with one plane. But like I said, we may need 2 or 3 to offset the maintenance. $509,000 just for those. Now we've got a full load, 20 out of 20 people. Oh, hi, Silk Crown. Are longer routes more profitable? I don't think it matters. I think a passenger is a passenger is a passenger, but I could be wrong about that. What's beneficial about longer lines is that people are more likely to travel that way, because to get there by road would take them a lot longer. People, at least in the previous Transport Fever games, or Transport Fever games, whether or not someone used your bus or your train or whatever depended on whether or not it was quicker to get there by road. If they could drive there faster than you could get them there by mass transit, then they weren't going to use it. The idea, though, that I have a plane transporting people from one side of the road or the map to the other, it's going to take them longer to do that by road. So there's going to be a lot of demand for people to use this anyway. At least that's my logic behind it. It looks like we're starting to generate a profit. Look at that. The Finances tab, the year 2018, that blue bar is above the red one. That's a good sign. Hi, Trifler. Oh, thanks, Trifler. Appreciate it. Yeah, you would know more about this than I would. People definitely pay more for longer bus routes than shorter. Whether it's more profitable is the question. Okay, good to know. My power just dipped. Cross your fingers that nothing happens. All right, $1.6 million per travel. That's pretty good. All right, let's take a look at my... Yep, so that line that we created for it, we're in the positive 2.3 million. So that purple line is starting to turn a profit around. That boat one, I can't imagine... Yeah, it's still negative 137,000. We may have to make that profitable. Honestly, we would probably have to... configure the line somehow to set up correctly. But again, this is just for demonstration purposes. I'm not going to do that this video. But yeah, not too shabby. Do we want to do trains just to see what that looks like? Maybe. How about from Ximen to Suzhou? That's how you pronounce it. Again, I picked an Asian-themed map with a tropical setting So all of the cities are named after some sort of Asian city or something. Town. Okay, so the downside of those, I don't have any money left, so building a train right now may not be possible. I'd love to build a train. How much are the stations? Passenger station, terminus, 200. Okay, I think we can afford that. Sure. I can also choose how many tracks. 2, 3. We'll stick to 1. Nice and easy. And N and M to rotate. The people are living, I think... Where's my residential at? Back here. Alright, so I think I want the train station, like, somewhere here. And then on this side... Is it Xiamen that we're going to? I don't remember. Yeah. I guess I could put that, like, say, right here. Alright, let's turn that off. Put a terminus. And I suppose that's good. And then we're going here, right? So I guess something like that, and we'll create a bus route. Actually, no, let's do something like that. It might be easier. Yeah, there's some white highlighted areas there, so it's going to reach some buildings. So go ahead and do that. And again, if we want to make this cheaply, we want to make shorter segments. That way it conforms with the slope of the land. So I didn't really think this through. We've got the station facing left and right here. That's the airport. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're good. Standard track or high speed? I guess standard is fine. All right, so we'll do something like that. I wouldn't mind showing you what the tunnels look like, so we'll go ahead and do the tunnel. Even though it's not ideal, I'd probably go around it. But for the sake of demonstrating, I think we'll leave the tunnel. So there's that. Tunnels are fun, right? Again, when you're making tracks, you want to avoid contour lines. Like you just sort of want to go along one contour line, one slope, and be done with it. Going up and then down or through mountains, generally not the most profitable way to do this. Because you have to reform the land, and that's very expensive. Where is my destination? Right there. Okay, so we'll do something like that. Oh, we're going through another mountain, are we? Okay. Oh, yeah, apparently. We're gonna have a lot of mountains, a lot of tunnels. Are we connected? There we go. All right. And there we go. And we'll flatten that out. Oh, that is ugly. Oh. Yeah, this isn't the most ideal way to do this. I'm just saying. Like normally one would create a shorter segment that would go down, travel along, and then cross that. But because I dragged the rail from back here all the way to the finish, it just created a slope like this. But hey, you got to see some architecture. Look at that. I planned it that way. Yeah, let's go with that. All right, so now we're going to need a train station. Let's connect it. Do something like that. And we want some tracks to connect it like that. There we go. So that's connected there. The future is now, old man. Reach the present. Oh, I got an achievement for that. Interesting. Okay, so now we can buy a train. So we're going to build a passenger train. So let's just concentrate on those. But if you guys want to see what the cargo looks like, Locomotives, wagons, and multiple units. Okay, so locomotives. We've got steam, which there's none left there. Electric, diesel. So the electric locomotives, we've got Russian class, China Railways. Okay. We've got diesel, which is China Railways. Again, this is the Asian themed. If I had chosen a different theme, you'd have different kind of cars here. Wagons, we've got China Type 25s. They're cool looking. I have no experience with any of them. Box car, flat car with side stakes, gondolas, box car, gondolas, flat car. Okay, similar themes, tank car. But we're gonna do passengers. So I guess the diesel. Electric is obviously, well, 1976, 1984. I guess we'll do that one. Let's go ahead and buy that vehicle if it lets me. Buy for 1 million. Yeah, fine. I got it. Not an. Oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, it's 9. Oh, it's close to 10 billion. I don't have enough for that. All right. How about electric? There we go. 4.3 million for this vehicle. I guess we'll go ahead and buy one of those. And oh, we forgot to create the line. Go to our line manager, and we'll set that up. New line from here to where was that train station? That's the airport. I always get turned around. All right, let's just follow the tracks. Ah, there it is. All right, so we got the line set up. It's yellow, line 13. So back to our vehicles, and we should have our train 1 here somewhere. There it is, train 1. We also need the, I forgot, the passenger cars. You can't transport passengers without the passenger cars, right? So let's go back to this train depot. We'll go ahead and buy passengers. I guess the China type, we'll go ahead and buy, I wouldn't mind buying one of each just to see what they look like. We don't have enough money. All right, well, we'll just buy one then, and hopefully that's going to be enough. So let's go ahead and assign both to line 13. Unable to find stop. Well, that's not good. Oh, do I have to connect the two, maybe? Maybe I forgot to connect it. All right, well, let's return this one back to the depot. I don't use trains too often. Let's go ahead and reverse this sucker. Send the depot. The bulk of my playthroughs are all vehicles. I don't use airplanes too much. I don't use ships. It's all vehicles. Even though Train Fever was the name of the game in days of yore, I generally only stuck with vehicles. All right, now how do we assign? Now, is that a train or a passenger? Alright, bear with me while I figure this out. I'm not used to this. Okay, capacity, cargo types, these. I wonder if I bought... Like, this is... I have to find the right screen for this. Alright. Clone selected vehicle, edit vehicle. I wonder if I have to do it... Let's sell it. Let's go back into the buy menu. I wonder if I have to buy them at the same time. Let's sell. Alright, now let's do it from here. Incorrect Wi-Fi password? What the heck are you talking about? Alright, my Wi-Fi just went out. I apologize if I am not seeing text the way I should on chat here. Alright, let's do... I think I have to add them down here and then buy them all at the same time. I think that's what I have to do. So let's go ahead and buy this one and the passenger one at the same time. There we go. 6.2 million. Buy that. Now it's one train. Now we send it off. There we go. Choo-choo. Alright, I see your message, so it looks like I'm still connected. That's good. I was worried that my internet got disconnected. Alright, so as of right now, there's no passengers yet. This is another example of you may want to put down some bus stops in your town so that you can connect it to that terminus there. Up to you on how you want to do it. But I at least wanted to show you this because, you know, it's fun to make something like this and for it to work. All right, so this line is I've got negative $500,000, which is to be expected. My plane line, $1.8 million in the positive. I like that. I agree, Trifler, for sure. I like my vehicles. That's just me, but because in the very beginning of the game you have a limited cash, and oftentimes when you're putting down a train, the amount of money that it takes to put down the train and the track, and then the maintenance cost following that, generally you're not making a whole lot of money right away, so you're going to be in bankruptcy. I mean, yes, you can take out a loan to offset that, I suppose, but if you're not someone that likes to take out loans, putting a train down first thing as soon as you start is risky, because if it doesn't work, you're out of money. Whereas the vehicles are cheaper and they're more of a sure thing, I think. But that's just me. There's different strategies. So far, line 13 isn't being used, but I have a feeling it's because there's very little connections to it. Alright, let's just do like a little stop there. And we have... there's a passenger one there, so I'll build off that. Let's go ahead and put this one down, say back here. Okay. So we're going to put a new line in. We're going to go from this to this to this. That's truck, though. Maybe I have the wrong one. I hope it's right. Oh, maybe that's just the symbol for a bus stop. All right, I think we're okay. If it doesn't work, I'll know what happened. But that's connected now. So 1, 2, 3, done. It's a teal color, or actually a lime green. Line 14. So do we have a depot nearby? We do. So passenger, let's go ahead and show you something. Let's do this Zohai GTQ. Buy for $500,000. Assign it to line 14, and off we go. Hi Riley, how are you? Maybe I did put the wrong one down. What does that say? Cargo stop cannot be used. Oh, did I put... I wonder if this is what is this, cargo? Oh, that's people. Maybe I put down, what is that? Maybe I put down the wrong type. Let's try that again. Buildings. Oh yeah, I put down a truck unload stop. My bad. Let's delete that. And we'll delete the other one. And we'll fix the line. There's that. Alright, so back to this. We want the bus. There we go. Much better. Alright, back to our line. And let's just remove everything. Add station. So we're going to go from here to here to here. And that should be good. And if we did that correctly, we should see that vehicle doing its thing. Is that it? That's it. Hi Cortland, how are you? This is Transport Fever 2. It'll be out in like 15 days as of the date of this recording. So this is a preview build. What a U-turn. Wow. That was an insane U-turn right there. All right, so it looks like we've got this, the line that we just set up is already hopping with people. So that's a good sign. That means that more and more people should be using this train. I do see some activity here. There's 5 people waiting at the station, 6. So over time, I have a feeling this train that we just set up will be profitable. It's just gonna, it's gonna take some time for that to happen. And then over here, we've got 2 people waiting. This is a, what is that? Is that a, it is, okay, let's go ahead and just set up a quick line from here to here. We'll just create a new line. Actually, let's go ahead and put down a tram, or a bus stop right there. All right, and then new line, line 15 from there to here. Add station, there we go. And I think 1 vehicle, it's a very short trip, but it puts them in range of this terminal here. Do we have a road depot nearby? That's a bus, that's a truck stop. Yeah, I think this, yeah, road depot. Sure, we'll go ahead and, actually, let's do something that we haven't seen. The Citaro. Sure. Line 15 it was. And off we go. That was a crazy U-turn. I agree. Whenever you create a vehicle for the first time and set it on a line, it has to go from the depot to the line. So it's not going to travel this route anymore. It's just getting to the line, and it'll just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Our quick express line. Well, we already got some people, 13 out of 17. Awesome. We're already starting to see some activity on that line. That's great. Now, over time, as you satisfy towns with what they need, they will grow in size. So we'll see, over time, we'll see more buildings popping up here. The idea here is, and your ultimate goal, there's no real end goal, but your ultimate goal, if you want to do it, I mean, you can do what you want, but ultimately, you're trying to get each city to be prosperous. You're trying to satisfy them so that they grow nice and big. Suzhou here, for example, needs, like, I guess, tools, is it? Little wrench symbol. Yep, tools and machines. So ideally, I want to try and find them on the map somewhere and create the lines that I need to create them in the first place and then ship them to the city, and then they'll grow in size. I've got the passengers already, like, they're happy, I think. We've got a lot of things going on there. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for me for today. It's, what, 9 o'clock, and I've got Ferris to take care of, and I've been streaming for an hour and a half. I will have this on my YouTube channel momentarily, so just be patient. It'll be up there soon. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.